Well, one of Weatherall's biggest critics was the Federal Minister for the Environment and Energy, Josh Frydenberg, who joins me now. Josh, you must wipe the smile from your face about this. Was this a referendum on renewables, and what was the answer?
It was a referendum on Jay Weatherall's mad energy policy, and the people spoke loudly and they rejected it outright. As you know, Labor had a 75% renewable energy target for South Australia, coming on the back of their having the highest energy prices in the whole country, 20% above the national average, and the least reliable grid in the system. And that was the price of the zealotry and the ideology of Jay Weatherall and the Labor Party. And now the people have called for and spoken in favour of a more sensible, reliable, affordable energy system under Stephen Marshall.
Now, you say that, and that is indeed what he promised, but I can't quite see what the new Premier, Stephen Marshall, is planning that's actually going to cut power prices by more than a dollar here or there.
Well, the first thing he has said he will do is end this chase for higher renewable energy targets at the state level. He understands that this is a national challenge and that it's up to the federal government to set those renewable energy and emission reduction targets. It's not up to state governments to do that. Now, in South Australia, Jay Weatherall went a different course. He called it a big experiment, and he subsequently called the election a referendum on his policy, and I think that's a very welcome start from Stephen Marshall.
Josh Frydenberg, I don't want you to gloat on national TV. It's always an ugly look, but that bugger, that man, that Premier, gate crashed your press conference famously last year. You had a ding-dong. Did you secretly toast his loss on Saturday night?
No, I just welcome the fact that the South Australian people had seen very clearly that it was time.
Oh, no, that's a straight answer, Josh. I wanted you to laugh and say, yes, I did.
I'm laughing, but can I just tell you, what goes around comes around, and Jay Weatherall found that out, and it's not for me to do anything but just get on with the business, and it's a serious business, I have to say, of delivering a more affordable, reliable energy system, which this country and South Australia so badly needs.
Now, the Greens had a shocker weekend. In Batman, they lost. In South Australia, they dropped a quarter of their primary vote. And federal Greens leader Richard Di Natale today tried to fire up the passion by blaming your government's global warming policies for the New South Wales fires. Here he is.
The government's been doing everything it can to slow this country's transition to renewable energy, and Australians are bearing the brunt of their failure. In the last few days, we've seen bushfires Savage, Tathra, Bega and southwest Victoria. We've seen a cyclone hit Darwin.
Josh, is there any rational way that anyone with two neurons between their ears could blame you and Malcolm Turnbull for causing the New South Wales fires?
Look, this is absolutely ridiculous from the comments from the Greens. They are insensitive. People are battling these fires. They're going through the clean-up after them. They've lost their homes and untold damage. And in order to distract from his own internal political problems, the Greens leader, Richard Di Natale, is making an insensitive political attack designed for partisan gain. It's completely inappropriate. It's a rant. It's typical to form for the Greens, and really they should grow up.
No, but the insensitivity is, to me, not the issue, because if you really did think there was a link, I think it's incumbent to actually mention it. For me, it's the fact that Di Natale ignores that nothing that your global warming policies could do or fail to do could make any difference to bushfires in New South Wales. Is that not correct?
Well, as you know, they're extremists on this, and whatever we do will not be enough. Now, you and I have debated.
No. I'm going to the scientific thing.
I'm going to that point now. And you and I have debated this topic uphill and down dale, and we disagree. We disagree on what we should be doing as a country to reduce our carbon footprint. Now, when Australia signed up to an international agreement. Yes, we're only 1.3, 1.4% of the global emissions, but so are 170 other odd countries below 2%.
I need to drag you back to my question, though, Josh. I mean, the point is there is no link between what you could have done or failed to do and the fires, because anything you did would make no difference to those fires. Is that not correct? Or are you going to take some responsibility for houses being burned?
I'm not taking responsibility for the Greens' attacks, but what I am saying is that the climate is changing. Man is making a contribution, and that's why we've signed up to a global effort to reduce emissions. But we don't go and chase reckless targets that destroy jobs, send power prices higher, and in the case of the Greens, are pursued because of the ideology of it, not because of the science or not because of the economic impact.
Well, neatly sidestepped, Josh. You've left unspoken the fact that there is no link between anything you do or could do and those fires, which makes the whole point a bit worthless about what we're doing, I must say. But more green politics. We are short of gas for domestic use, and one reason, of course, there have been bans on fracking in Victoria, the Northern Territory, Tasmania, much of New South Wales. Now, Stephen Marshall says fracking will also be banned in southeast and South Australia. Look, Josh, there's no science, as you know, behind this scare. Does Stephen Marshall disappoint you by jumping on this green bandwagon?
Well, obviously, we'd like to see unconventional gas extracted onshore across the country. I do point out that Stephen Marshall allows unconventional gas extraction in the Cooper Basin, which is a much bigger prospective area. It's only in a part of his state that he's put these restrictions. But the key point here is we need to reward our landowners and our farmers more for the extraction of important gas resources as they do in the United States. This has been one of the challenges that we've faced, and as a result, groups like Lock the Gate have come in and filled that void and been able to convince people of an unscientific approach, because we do know from the Chief Scientist of Australia, we know from his report into the energy system, we know from the experience in other countries like the United States, that you can pursue gas development, both unconventional and conventional onshore, and not do it in a way that jeopardises environmental outcomes.
Spot on. Now, just lastly, the Prime Minister has given one attack publicly of the Labor Party grab on the superannuation, the share dividends there, their tax rebates. That's a bit low energy, isn't it? One attack on a crucial policy like that in 1 week.
No, the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, the Finance Minister, myself, we've all been out there attacking Bill Shorten for his tax and spend approach. Now, let's not be under any misapprehension. His policy is an attack on pensioners.
No, I got it. My question was about where the heck the Prime Minister is. I mean, gee, you're fighting for your life.
No, he has been out there making the case, and 230,000 pensioners across Australia, including in Labor electorates, will now lose those cash payments as a result of Bill Shorten's policy. We'll see another 600,000 low-income earners earning less than $18,200 a year who will be hit, and of course more than 1 million people, particularly those who are self-funded retirees, who have taken the brave decision to save for their own retirement, and they will be penalised by Bill Shorten's $60 billion
No, fine.
tax
That's well put, Josh. I'm just saying that you've just said in this grab about as much as the Prime Minister has said in a whole week, and I just wonder where he is. Josh Frydenberg, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Good to be with you.